Okay, so this presentation will be dealing with the different phases of motivation behavior. So, a motivated behavior can be distinguished by having three distinct phases, and include the first one being searching phase, and then orientation phase, and culminating in visions phase. Okay, each of the phase will be taken into detail. Searching phase, it is otherwise referred as striving phase, and it is the goal searching phase of appetitive behavior. During this particular phase, animals search for suitable external stimuli which are essential for the goal-oriented behavior. For example, a hungry predator searches for the prey, a thirsty animal searches for water, and so these actually uh, is a stimulus, that is a searching for the suitable external stimulus, and for the hungry predator the stimulus is the prey, external stimulus is the prey, while for thirsty animal it is a water. Usually a searching animal will restrict its activities to a particular locality or habit or a habitat. So many animals learn to limit or restrict their search to those areas where they have been previously successful. Their attempts have been successful, getting prey have been like more frequent. So though the searching will be more restricted more often to such kind of areas. On reaching such areas, they employ various searching strategies, and random search is generally the least effective strategy because it often involves revisiting the same area several times, so wasting of energy and wasting of time. So usually the specific searching strategies, those are strategies are employed where getting the what you call goal at a fast, attaining the goal at a faster rate is more what you call successful. So in predation, the best searching strategy is related to the distribution of prey, right? So here you can see that a hunger animal can rarely just get up and eat. It has to seek out for food. The behavior patterns it employs may be many and diverse. This is particularly clear with the predatory animals which actively hunt for their prey. So it is often impossible to identify the nature of appetitive behavior unless we observe the actual goal. So animals searching for food, water, or a mate may behave very similarly, but in each case, the stimuli required to bring about the particular behavior are highly specific. So this phase is actually searching for the goal. Okay, that is what the phase actually involve, the behavior associated with the searching for the goal. Now, the next one is actually the behavior oriented towards or around the goal once it is found. Okay, this is the orientation phase. So, orientation phase is also referred as a phase of consummatory behavior or act, and during this phase, the behavior of animals it is directed or oriented towards the goal. So, eating the food after locating it in response to hunger stimulus, it is a example of orientation phase or the consummatory behavior. Like drinking water after locating it in response to thirst stimulus, it is a consummatory behavior or the orientation phase behavior. So consummatory behavior brings the searching behavior to an end. Always the orientation phase follows the searching phase, right? Now here you can see that the what do you call once the appropriate goal stimuli are located, the animal's behavior changes. So whatever behavior pattern was shown in the first phase, it is usually different from the behavior pattern shown in the orientation phase because already the goal has been located. Okay, so now what is it actually? The behavior pattern should be changed, which is suitable for attaining, for example, if it is a food, eating the food, isn't it? So it has to be changed. The variable searching patterns now give way to a series of responses directed at the goal, which are often stereotyped fixed action patterns, and they are called as consummatory acts. So here, eating is a consummatory act of feeding behavior, as we have seen. Drinking water actually relates to thirst drive. I hope this is clear. Okay. Now the third phase, it is a quiescence phase. Okay, quiescent phase following the achievement of the goal. So once the goal is achieved, the kind of behavior shown is what is referred under the quiescence phase. So here it is otherwise referred as a refractory period. It is a final stage of a motivated behavior or the goal-oriented behavior. And during this behavior, motivation or the drive is minimal or almost nil. And the appetitive and the consummatory behaviors of the animal do not continue or persist. And the animal will not respond to any further stimulus of the same goal. Okay, that is, for example, if it is a hunger like a drive which had stimulated this the particular searching phase and the orientation phase, eating the food has already brought the motivational level to minimum. Okay, the drive has been brought to minimum. Once the orientation phase is completed, what happens is the motivation becomes minimal. Okay, for the particular goal, for the particular stimulus. So even after the orientation phase, even if there is food, the animal may not show the same kind of behavior. Okay, but it may show a same kind of searching orientation phase pattern for a different what we call stimulus. For example, an animal which was showing a hunger drive as well as a thirst drive, and it has fulfilled the hunger drive. The thirst drive is still remaining, isn't it? So it may show a behavior pattern for fulfilling the thirst drive. Is it okay? So it actually went through all the behavior pattern to fulfill the hunger drive. Okay, but the thirst drive is still remaining. So once the hunger drive is fulfilled, now the thirst drive is predominant. So it starts to show the behavior, the searching phase for waters, the orientation phase for drinking water. So all those behavior pattern will be shown towards the drinking drive or thirst drive. I'm sorry. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So at the same time, like the quiescence phase for a particular stimulus is completed, even simultaneously, it may still exhibit appetitive behavior for some other set of foods. Okay, so consummatory acts are normally followed by a period of quiescence when the animal is no longer responding to stimuli from the particular goal and shows no further appetitive behavior. Okay, that is a searching goal behavior. Okay. This quiescence relates only to one type of behavior. The animal may be actively pursuing some other goal. So in some cases, responsiveness slowly builds up again so that there is fairly direct relationship between the threshold to goal stimuli and time since the last performance of the consummatory act. So I hope this is clear. Here you can see. So this is a flowchart which shows how the motivational behavior is shown by an animal for a particular goal. Okay, so motivational behavior starts with a high level of motivation for a particular goal. So there is high levels of motivation that brings about the first phase, that is the appetitive behavior or the searching phase, and it searches for the goal during this particular phase. And now the goal has been located. Once the goal is located, it starts to show the what you call second phase, that is a consummatory phase, isn't it? Right? So the goal is located, and there is orientation around the goal, the behavior shown around the goal. Then the goal is attained. Okay, so here if it is a hunger drive, the goal attainment means the uh, eating of the food, isn't it? So attainment of the goal through consummatory behavior or fixed action patterns, right? Then it will, what happens? The drive is fulfilled. It had reached a satiation phase, isn't it? So it will continue. The motivational level falls to minimum, and it will result in quiescence phase. Okay, so high levels of motivation will result in appetitive behavior. The goal search for the goal, and it will result in what you call, it will be followed with orientation around the goal, that is a what you call consummatory phase, and the consummatory phase is gets ended with attainment of the goal. And then what happens? The motivation level goes to minimum uh, in the quiescence phase. It is the last phase. Okay, once the quiescence phase is attained, a single set of motivational behavior is completed. Okay, but after a particular time period, the motivational level for that particular drive, it starts to increase, and this again the whole process is continued, the same what you call cycle is continued in the same manner. So this graph, you can see it is with respect to the feeding. Initially the appetitive phase is the the first phase in the motivational behavior, and here the drive is very high, motivational level is very high, and you can see it continues till the consummatory phase is ended, isn't it? Here this is a motivational what do you call the consummatory phase, the ultimate peak in the consummatory phase, the motivation is maximum here. So once the consummatory phase is completed, the goal is attained, what happens to the motivation? It gradually it decreases. Okay, so this phase is actually the society phase or the quiescence phase here. Okay, so once this is over, it will after some time again it will start from here. So this is actually the graph which shows how the motivation is level is increasing and decreasing along a pattern of behavior in a goal-oriented behavior, and this is a flow chart which shows the different phases of in a motivated behavior. Okay, so I hope this is okay. So far we have seen examples of a particular goal, attainment of the particular goal, and fulfillment of the particular drive, etc. But every time we may not be able to find a single like stages like this. Okay, very simple stages. Uh, these stages are actually useful at certain situations, but they are not universally applicable. For example, it is not easy to classify the nest building behavior shown by a bird in this way. So here you cannot actually designate three different phases, one after the other, fulfilling the particular drive, etc. It may this nest building behavior it may begin by searching for large twigs to form a foundation. For example, in the case of larkbird, we can see that the whole nest building behavior, it starts with searching for large twigs to form a foundation for the nest. When this is completed, the sides are made from finer material. So then mud is collected and shaped to form the cup. And finally, this is lined with fine grass and hair. So every time you can see what is being searched is different. So initially it is large twigs, and then once it is completed, the foundation is completed, they search for the mud, and once the mud is used up for making the cup shaped what you call nest, they go for fine grass and hair. So the behavior, you can see the nest building is completed, that is ultimate goal. Okay, it is completed through a series of sub goals. That is, first is nest foundation, then the walls, the side walls of the nest, then you have the lining. So each of these can be considered as a sub goal. Okay, and once these sub goals are completed, we can see that the ultimate goal of nest building is completed. So each of the sub goal do have its own appetitive behavior and consummatory act. For example, if it is for the first step or the first sub goal, it is searching for the large twig, locating the large twig and collecting them, bringing back to the spot where the nest is made, isn't it? The second this one, what you call the second sub goal, it is to find the mud. So the appetitive behavior and the what you call this consummatory behavior will be different because the goal is different. So each of the sub goal, once it is accomplished, then only the whole ultimate goal is completed. Okay, so we cannot find like these three phases alone or single step them in single phase alone in certain behaviors. For example, the nest building behavior is a very good example. Okay, fine. So, so these are the different phases in the motivational behavior, and the motivational behavior needn't be so simple. It could have sub goals as well. Okay, that is what we explained with the nest building behavior of certain birds. Fine. So I suppose it is